When a member of the actual inner sanctum of immortal and godly alien extraterrestrial genetics is wronged, they have ultimate superiority and ultimate say of right and wrong, and to address the criminals in order to correct the problem before it happens. That's how immortals work. So when somebody from the most sanctimonious traditional genetic family is being born and can already see down the scope of the miraculous rebirth purposely placed on the family's behalf that we're also encountering problems. The way that the documents are recorded, I don't know how to explain to anybody outside. It is, this is what I see as my I'm a I have witchcraft capabilities. I can see the future of my children. When my children come back, there is an ongoing imperial problem that we already know. There's no further study. There's no further need for question. I'm telling you that's what it reads. I don't need an omega disaster. I need to believe, B-E, and then L-I-V-E, being the life that I want to be in, with Niklaus and the children skinned properly the first time, and not to some ugly man and more issues, leading a horse off to slaughter, which is what you humans did. And then there's the olive factor, which is the world being the O, and the L-I-V-E. That would be myself. It has nothing to do with skin color, idiots. These are words. I'm English. I also own the word France, F-R-A-N-C-E, being N-C, Nicole Cateruzza, with the scope of 3, that has a problem in the very real upcoming future as the immortal, who told you in the past and is now in this irrevocable future that she never wanted to be in, and did everything within her powers to alert the authorities to make sure that this day never happened. But here we are. So now what is the retribution, and what are the consequences for me filing all the paperwork properly and you all doing some other schematic because you're fucking stupid? I'm just curious, like when the cesspool backs up, how long does it usually take for you to actually like clean up or mop up all the shit that's making the entire house smell? Just curious. Okay, okay, so here we are in the Watcher's Breeder program is #1 top priority because they don't lie. You might not like what they say. I was asking this the other day. I said, you ever heard the words rubbing salt in the wound? They're like, yeah, that's like pouring vinegar in a wound. Like it really like hurts. And I'm like, kind of, sort of. But the thing is that before antiseptic, salt, it was the antiseptic. You packed the wound with salt, so this way you had a better chance of maintaining the limb. So it might have hurt for a while, but you had a better chance at it. It hurts, but you have a better chance of keeping the limb, rather than having to cut the entire limb off and leave you with a stump or just a bare bone nub. So now, if you don't like my method or the way that I communicate, I don't give a shit. I have a myriad and a variety of different language people that are important and that needed to know specific combined languages with combined patented words that wouldn't change. And oh my god, it smells like fucking cesspool right here all of a sudden. I'm by the same place I was yesterday with the gentleman from another nation. All right, anyway. So, I put up on Facebook They had a facially disfigured woman holding a red and white Nike brand shoe. I said, we told you that the Nike brand is Niklaus and I. It's a Greek thing, Greek. There's nothing that looks like that in Greece. Never. We don't approve branding our brand to that look. See, you humans just think like in this modern day, it's an international brand. Or at least that's what you've made it. So here's the deal. It's under admirable law, which be land laws don't apply. It's the sea laws, which only the White Star people that own Aeronav are allowed, and it's not for sale. We're the judgment, the watchers for this life and the life after. Because when you are done making all of your bad decisions and not following directions, there will be another generation that needs help. So we try to curb before you make the stupidest, most dangerous mistakes, but you humans are getting worse and worse at following directions and following the lead that we give you in order to save your children and your children's children and make the world a better place than when you found it, to leave it a better place than when you found it. That's usually what we require of you humans. So here we are, and I don't know who gave permission. It's probably all of this disgusting mixing that you have going on, because that facial look that I put up there and I said that it was absolutely prohibited. You have no authority to rebrand a known Greek saying and symbol throughout all of history as a facially disfigured horse, cat, and dog eater. Oh, God, no. And that just happens, that look that I put up there, like giving a claim and letting you all know that it is an illegal advertising ploy, Ploy, that same disgusting look of the people that eat horse meat, dog meat, and cat meat, and claim it's a delicacy. Those people who I've been warning throughout all area, space, and time, they're the ones who invaded New York, Flushing, being F-L-U-S-H-I-N-G, Flushing? Yeah, F-L-U-S-H-A-N-G. The fucking invaders from the territory that were not allowed in America ever, nor in money or international waters or anything. But apparently you humans don't fucking follow a goddamn word that God says. So here we are, and they're also the ones who invaded Bayside, just so we have accurate down this scope. There are serious consequences to the facially disfigured and disgusting for forcing this route. There's a whole bunch of shitskins, the dark color, that are involved in that motion as well. I put up last night the hose that you use, the fireman's hose with the super strength, that the black guy with the funny glasses that got into the military department, he wasn't allowed in because of some civil rights asshole. Right, and then he turned the hose on the good white guys from the belly of a black-winged bird that are white, always, and they're like me, they're not facially disfigured whatsoever. Turned the hose on them as they were trying to get to the Christ mannequin that's about to plummet into a turning spike system and get eaten up. The fucking black guys turning the hose on the white guys so they couldn't come to help the mannequin that they turned on the automation system that's going into the feeder. And there's only one white guy that got past the black guy to get in there, and he's holding her hand, trying to make sure that she doesn't fall in as a living human. Yeah, that 1987 Mannequin movie, here's the deal on the symbolic gesture of that. How do I explain to people who don't even know moving pictures? They've never seen a movie. There's no vid, there's no anything. There's chalk and drawing photos just for a meeting and then putting them on paper so this way in your own hand to give a testimonial, because we didn't ever want to see automation or technology in mass public, and we never showed it to people ahead of time for that reason. What is aeronav and extraterrestrial equipment stays out there, and it's private. It's not for human consumption. It's not for human gumption, and it's not for humans to conspire and try to take advantage of us. It's for human safety that we keep it quiet and private. We don't need you researching or finding out. That ties into not allowing the enemy to fly all over, make new friends, and make new disastrous partnerships and relationships, start new classes of money, then clumping together and causing a real fucking riot, and then stealing the equipment, and then marketing it to the world as if it was their own invention and that they were permitted to do it. And then fighting God every step of the way that she is not the ultimate authority on the planet, which she is. So that's what happened with your cell phones. You're being able to throw your voice, because if you go back in history, the reason why so many people hate the Catholic Church is because during the Holy Crusades, the Catholic Church is against science. They are against the outbreak of magic and dark arts getting out to people that are in desperate need of money and whatnot, that will do anything. They will sell their souls to the devil, and they will sell their firstborn child to anyone just to get a leg up or a leg in to something that they're not allowed to have. That's the danger of it all. Once those little fractures start to happen in multiple places, it becomes a real fucking concern for God, guardianship, extraterrestrials, star beings, and then the humans that walk around and don't know anything, and that are being taken advantage but don't know. And then you have to be careful how you explain it, because you don't want the cleanup to go in an alternate direction from where you need it to be, which is exactly what happened. So all these like little fucking mishaps that you idiots have around the globe, and you can't seem to pool together and get one congruent police force and one congruent set of laws. Here you are. So, that Mannequin movie was how we explained, like a doll, that I was frozen in time somewhere else. I was frozen in like a scenario somewhere else, like not moving, and I only move when Niklaus is by my side. That's how we explained it for documentation back in the day, so as not to explain how you can transgress and transcend over as an immortal, as a god, because again, we don't want, as it was growing more dangerous closer to our arrival, we didn't want to have people looking through those records, looking for clues to then break into other areas and become more dangerous. So we said that I was like a mannequin, and that I only came alive and I only felt alive when Niklaus was touching me or was near me, because we have that special bond as two immortals that only care for one another as humans and as gods. So that's what was documented in the war of World War I and II, where we were being blamed for certain things that were not our fault, and we were telling people what it actually was so they could go back to their all area to try to clean it up quietly and neatly before we had a 1940s, 50s, and 60s problem, which only steadily grew worse as White Brotherhood then all of a sudden started turning on myself and Niklaus being the harmed in the party of white that was trying to help everybody. I wasn't selling out. I wasn't asking for money. I was trying to just document and then give you, so this way the most affluent, trustworthy, who wanted to keep their seats in God's house of whatever, of non-religion, would be able to do so without being questioned as to motive either. So that's where the mannequin was going up the automation bin and into a spinning spike that was going to eat her alive. And Niklaus had the one arm trying to hold her, and the white, good, like Russians, Nazis, Italians, Greeks, anything that has a strong, nice, white, intelligent army that knows what's going on in Christian America, where I'm going to be sent and reborn, and what's going on with Elizabeth, and not acknowledging my genetic blend of actual parents coming in and sitting in as if she's the only English-speaking queen of authority. That falsehood, confusing all the area's intelligent men, that was represented by the black guy with the hose
taking out all the white guys.